In this video today I'm going to be stripping down the front calipers from my BMW MINI, the R50 series, which is first generation minis. I've already stripped the driver's side caliper down because that was nice and easy. This is the one for the passenger side, and this is the caliper that's seized. Also, when I stripped the caliper for the passenger side down, I noticed that the brake pad was split. As you can see there, it's came away. I'll renew the brake pad sensor while I'm at it because they're only a few pounds. You can see there's plenty of meat still on that pad, but the reason why this has split and deteriorated is because the car's been parked up for about 4 years, so it's time to get it back on the road again. And first things first is to get the brakes done, because the car obviously has to go for MOT to prove that it's roadworthy. So this is one of the jobs that I'm going to tackle today, is stripping this caliper down. This is the side that's seized. This is seized solid, so I need to take that apart and renew the pistons. I'm doing the pistons in both calipers, pistons, seals, you name it. The tools that you'll need to do this job is a wire brush to clean off the rust. I will be putting a grinder on that as well with the wire wheel attachment. Ideally I would sandblast it, but I don't have a blast cabinet. So the tools you'll need is a wire brush, a little file to help take the rust off, a couple of screwdrivers. You'll need this one to take off the spring, and this one to help get the seal out, and the ring will be rotten to hell, so that will get broken up. Ratchet, 7mm Allen key to take out your slider pins. I think that's a 10mm socket for the bleed nipple. A little pick to pick out the seal and the inner seal. A punch, because I know I won't be able to blast air through this to pop the piston, because this piston is seized solid. And some pliers and a nice big hammer to work your punch. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I haven't showed how to take off the brake caliper, because if you can't take off a brake caliper, you really shouldn't be tackling this job. So let's crack on, and we'll get this brake caliper stripped down. Right, these springs will probably be welded in, because these were done, how long have I had that car? About 6-7 years. So that's when these were done, and as you can see, I've hardly driven the car, and the brake pads are pretty good in it. A little chip out that one. The other pad was the same. I don't know what happened there. So anyway, let's try and get this off. The other side was seized, so this spring will probably be seized as well. Just try to wiggle this out, because I don't want to snap the pin inside it, because it means I'll need to drill it. Next you want to pop out your other pad. Actually, I should have taken this carrier off first. Would have made it a bit easier. Carrier's just two 7mm Allen keys. Now I know these sliders will be good because I always grease these right up with silicone grease, so I know these will be good. But if they're not good, you can normally get away with just giving them a clean on the wire wheel. Yeah, and as you can see there, they're still perfect. There's still some silicone on that. If this been the near side in the UK, this is the side that runs in the gutter all the time and sees the most water, hence how this one's seized. Right. Yep, that pin's okay as well. Next you want to get rid of the rubber bungs, because I'll be renewing these. These are just the little dust caps for the sliders, and they're quite crispy. Now this car is a 2004 car, so this is the first time these brakes have been stripped down and rebuilt, so it's pretty good going for a car that's what, 17 years old. That's one. You can see the rust sticking to it and all the rust around here. That's the rust that's holding this in. Right, that's that one off. Next you want to take the bolt out. This will be loose anyway, because you need to undo the banjo bolt for your brake flexi. So I'll be cleaning that bolt up. I don't think you get that in the kit, so I'll clean it up anyway. If you get that in the kit, fair and dandy. Next, the bleed nipple. Turn this round so you can see it. Just here, you can see that is that's in some state, that. So before I put the socket on that, I'll just give it a little clean up. This bleed nipple's clearly rounded, so what I've done is I've popped it in the vise, squeezed a set of vice grips on it, and then clamped it and turned it, and that's the start to come now. That is well seized in there. I had visions of me having to retap that, but that's it off there. As you can see, it's totally knackered, so that's in the bin. Right, I know this piston's seized, so what I'm going to do is drift it out with the punch. This is like the classic minis as well. You can put the punch through the hole where the brake flexi would go into the banjo bolt and just drift it out. So I do have the punch that's fell down there. So I'll just tap that out. Although it's seized, it doesn't need a lot. Just be careful that you're not hitting the threads on this as you're hammering down, because if you knacker the threads, well, you'll either need to retap it or buy another caliper. So that's the old piston out. That's going in the bin as well, and you can just see the state of that caliper inside there. So I will be doing a brake flush on the car as well. So now to get the remainder of the seal off this and the little metal retaining clip. The seal, you can just try and rip that off, because you'll use a screwdriver to scrape the rest of it off. So if I just jam this in the vise like so, I can get into that with a screwdriver. This caliper is fairly grubby. Right, so I just want to pick this seal off, and it's all ripping to shreds. Get the bin under the caliper. Now what I'm looking for here is the metal retaining ring. So I need to find that. If I can find it, I can prise it up. Let's see at that. Now, these have got a habit of just going brittle and breaking. So you want to get this off and the remains of the old seal, because when you put your new kit on, it's got to hook over this lip. So again, you need to make sure that that is spotlessly clean. This is where the little thin one comes in handy to try and get down the back of that. I mean, if you can do all this yourself, you'll save yourself a lot of money. That's if you don't mind putting the time into it. Right, that's it. I'll just throw that in the bin. But that's all the metal ring out it now. So it's just a matter of scraping the remains of the rubber boot off around here, and also getting rid of the rust. So what you want to do now is clean all this up, and round this lip you want to get this absolutely spotless. So the more time you spend on this, the better the result you'll get, and it'll be a lot easier when you come to fit the rubber boots. A little bit of sandpaper is always good, because you can bend it and get it in behind like that. So I'll just clean around the perimeter with the sandpaper, and that should get rid of the rest of the sticky rubber and the rust. That's the caliper now, fully stripped and ready for cleaning. So what I'll use is a grinder with the wire wheel attachment and a little wire brush, just to get into all the little nooks and crannies, and also the little file to get into other areas. So I'll get that cleaned up, and then we can move on to the next stage, which will be giving it a splat of paint. That's the caliper and the carrier cleaned up now, so that's looking really good. All I need to do now is give it a little bit of paint, and then we can start the rebuild. As the calipers had a quick coat of primer, I'll go and get a brew, let that flash off, and then we'll give it a coat of silver. That's the calipers had a coat of silver now. It's actually alloy wheel paint, and they've had time to dry off, i.e. a day. So yeah, I think they look quite good. So the calipers painted and the carriers painted. This is what you get in the kit. You obviously get 2 of each. This is just for this one. So you get a new dust boot, a new inner seal for the piston, a bleed nipple and its cap, 2 of these caps for the slider pin sleeves, red grease, silicone rubber grease, and obviously a piston. So that's what we're going to be using to refit the piston and the seal and all that back into the carrier. I'm also going to be using a little splash of brake fluid. So let's get this built up. Right, so we're now ready to reassemble this caliper. So first things first, we've got this seal. So I'll just give it a little coat in the red rubber grease. I won't be using that one, I'll be using my own. I'll just coat the inside of that. This just helps it stick as well inside the bore for the piston. Right. Make sure that your channel in here is clean. I've given that a clean out even after painting it. I actually left the old seal in it when I painted this one. Right, just make sure that it's not twisted or anything, and that's it in. Happy days. The dust boot, you just want to put this over so that it locates in the groove. So that little bit, the end of the dust cap or dust cover, just to locate it in that groove. Right, that's how it should look. Next, the piston is going to go into here, like so. So before I pop that in, I'm going to get a little bit of my brake fluid. And give the piston a smear, and also the seal. This just helps it all slide in. The other side was tight going in, so I might have to tap it in gently with a tapping device. Right, that should be that. Suitably covered. Set that off to one side. That's the piston going in there, like that. So now, we want to make sure that this, the end of the boot hooks over the lip here and stays in position. Getting the front in is not so bad, it's trying to get the back in. As you can see, it's raised there. So I'll work away and get that in. Might need a little poker. This isn't a plastic tool here. So right, there we go. That's that boot fully seated all the way around. I'll just double check it on the back. I'm using the plastic spatula just so I don't tear it. Yeah, that's fully seated. That went in no problem at all. Next, you want to get your little dust boots for the sliders. For this I'll use the clear grease, and I'll just give them a little bit of lube on there. That just helps them slide in to the caliper. That seems suitably greased. Normally go in no problem at all. Right, that's one in. Just make sure that it's fully in, and the second. Well, right, that's the two of them in. Next, it's your grease nipple, or your bleed nipple, sorry. I'll just put it over its dust cap. Like so. And just lightly screw that in. Like so. Now obviously your slider pins, I'll need to find them. That's them there. They'll go through there like so. So that's the second caliper built. Now, what you don't get in the kit is new banjo bolts. So what I done was I went out and ordered new banjo bolts, so that when I put the piston back on the caliper back on the car, it's got some nice shiny new bolts to go with it as well. And in the kit you get new copper washers which means I won't need the washers, heat them up and knead them and what have you. So yep, they can go in the bin, and I'll fit them. Well guys, that's the caliper fully rebuilt. That kit cost me £29.99, and it's well worth it. So if you can do this at home, you'll save yourself a fortune, because in turn it's only cost me £15 per caliper to overhaul. Cheap, cheerful, and very easy to do at home, you know. Also a tin of paint. I done another, what, £6, but that paint will get used on other things as well. So yeah, for under £35 you can do your own calipers at home. There we have it. That's the two calipers fully refurbished and ready to go back on the car. Before I put them back on the car, I've got a few other bits and pieces to do, but yeah, that's how easy it is to do. If you're a competent DIY mechanic, I'd thoroughly recommend going down this route to save you a bit of money. You really don't need to go to the extent of cleaning them up the way I've done them. I've made them look absolutely brand new. Just giving them a good clean and popping new pistons and seals in it would be suffice. But the way I see it, if you're going that far, you may as well make the parts look good and clean. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, maybe hit that subscribe button just down here, and feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section. Bye for now.